Yeah, Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the 9-hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep, go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laps in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark.
What's going on, people? How are we doing? Happy Taco Tuesday. You like my very white voice? All right, I won't do that ever again. Anyway, it's your man Wildcard Mar. Got my man Randy Weber in the building. And like I said, it's Taco Tuesday. It's episode 501, I.O.W. Sports Late Night Owl Edition. We are back in the building, man. A lot to talk about. But are you getting beamed out in outer space, Randy?
Okay, now you were okay. It was lagging a bit. You're in now. I'm in. I'm just having Matt Nagy visions. It's keeping me locked out, but I'm locked in. I'm locked back in.
I was worried for a second. I was like, damn, like the alien shit might be true. They about to get my dog. They about to get
yeah, just in the middle of the show.
In the middle of the show.
That would do numbers.
Crazy numbers. But no, obviously, Super Bowl is this Sunday, and obviously the team that I root for is not in it, so I'm kind of feeling in a weird spot. But that's neither here nor there. So we'll definitely give our final predictions. Talk about I guess those things that we need to talk about. No need to even mention the Pro Bowl or even talk about it because I didn't even see a minute of it. I might have seen some clips on social media. That's about it. But actually watching it, ain't seen a minute of it. But no, we got that going on. James Harden getting traded. Some other NBA players got traded. We'll talk about that. It's funny that same spot last week, we were talking about Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame. Now his owner of the teams that he coached is denied. We'll talk about that and what does that mean for the quarterback. We need to talk about that. That needs to get discussed. Revisit it a little bit, but no, between me and Randy, he's a Giants fan, I'm a Chiefs fan. The offensive coordinator who formerly was from the Chiefs, Matt Nagy, is now OC for your Giants, and it happened early today, So let's be transparent with the people. Let's give your initial feelings when you first heard. And then now that you've had at least 12 hours to digest, I need your feelings after 12 hours of digestion. So, without further ado, the floor is yours, sir.
So, okay, thank you for that. My first initial reaction, as Lamar knows, was a sort of cult-like trust in John Harbaugh and a certain, maybe simplistic, over-positive reaction to Matt Nagy being added because he was partially behind Patrick Mahomes. He has been to, I believe, of the years he was the offensive coordinator, 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2 Super Bowls, and he's been to, I think, 3 or 4 when he replaced Bieniemy. But even still, multiple Super Bowl appearances, multiple Super Bowl wins. And he was also part of he was there for at least Patrick Mahomes' rookie year and was part of his development. For those reasons, and because John Harbaugh can do no wrong, I believed at first, hell yeah, super positive. We're back, we're on top. This is going to be the late 80s, early 90s Giants all over again. Like we're here, we're back. After thinking about it some more, while all of that stuff is true, it is also true, and you can attest to this, Matt Nagy is also behind Patrick Mahomes' least productive seasons, least explosive offenses, and while that does also coincide with issues, particularly with the receivers, the Kadarius Toney MVS year they had, where that was what Patrick Mahomes had to work with after they lost Tyreek Hill, the most dropped passes in the NFL. I don't know. Maybe that's not Matt Nagy's fault. Maybe that's just the circumstances he was dealt. There's also been significant offensive line issues at various points while Matt Nagy was in charge. Rashee Rice has gotten himself off of the field multiple times through injury or otherwise. Mm-hmm. Xavier Worthy got hurt this year and was missing some games. So, and there were years where they didn't have a tackle, right? Like from 2 years ago, they went through most of the season without a left tackle, or significant parts of the season. And this year, their left tackle was going in and out of the lineup. If you want to say that Matt Nagy is responsible for the offensive lulling of what was at one point one of the greatest offenses ever under Eric Bieniemy, I think you can make that case, and that does concern me. Not that it necessarily matters for this job, but his run as head coach didn't work very well. He did uplift what was a pretty bad Bears team, so I think he deserves credit for that. You could argue that that's a mixed bag as well. I am cautiously optimistic. I think there is a lot positive here. I think there are some things to be concerned about, especially considering how often Giants players get injured. Maybe we're not going to end up actually giving him as great of an offense as it looks like on paper. But I'm cautiously optimistic, especially with Harbaugh being at the head of it. I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, multiple Super Bowl titles within the past decade. What you obviously were fairly negative on Matt Nagy. Why were you negative on Matt Nagy from someone who has watched him very closely?
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to get the positive out the way for you. So because I'm going to leave you on a sour note. Here's the positive. He went to the playoffs twice with Mitchell Trubisky as a head coach. So take that as literally that should be his Hall of Fame. As I took in Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs twice as a head coach.
Right.
That should be his calling card. Literally, any interview he ever done. Well, Matt Nagy, what the hell have you done as in the NFL as any coach at any level, whether OC, head coach? Well, I took in Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs twice. Because that's a feather in the cap. All right. So I don't care what nobody says. I won't
Right.
with that.
Yeah.
And
Jackson Dart's definitely better than Mitch Trubisky.
he did that as a head coach. All right. And I'll give him that credit. Here's where I have here's my interpretation that I was really trying to convey to you. He was the OC for one Super Bowl under Mahomes. He was on the staff for the previous one of the back-to-back.
Okay.
Right. Now, and I'm glad that you did your research, and that's why I really was waiting for you to come back down to the to reality. Was when you brought it up that the numbers of Patrick Mahomes himself are night and day when it comes from Bieniemy under Nagy. And I get it. There's no context to it. There's so much you can throw context to both of those numbers. Obviously one's with Tyreek, one's without. But I will say at the same time, Bieniemy was winning the Super Bowl without Tyreek for that first back-to-back. So, but I could also, like you said, the injuries, so the O-line play, I can say that the O-line was more consistent under Bieniemy and more turmoil under Nagy. And I can agree with you to the moon about that. And you would have all right to say that, and damn it, you'd be right. So did add context to it. I get it, but the numbers are the numbers, and we also just play, just look. I mean, our eyes. We saw Magic Mahomes under Bieniemy, and we're seeing Alex Smith Mahomes under Matt Nagy. And so you can take that as you want to make as coincidence. I'm just taking it as, I think there's some complacency that's been going on since Bieniemy has left. And my real problem is with Nagy is, and what's night and day between him and Bieniemy is that the accountability when it comes to holding players accountable. See, Nagy's not going to, be like Bieniemy. Bieniemy's going to tell you, hey, man, what the hell are you doing, bro? He's never been afraid to challenge Patrick Mahomes. Nagy doesn't do that. Nagy's one, hey, guys, let's have a beer. Talk about what went wrong. Why aren't we being so successful on offense? Oh man, red zone interception, Patrick. Oh, hey, it's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it back. Instead of challenging him, like, what are you doing? What did you see? That was on you. That's the night and day that I was really and couldn't wait to have this conversation with you, because obviously being a fan of the team and seeing Aggie on the sideline and interviews and press conferences and all that, that's what worries me about a young squad like you guys, the Giants, and dealing with a OC like Nagy, who's not going to be the disciplinarian kind of guy. He's going to be one of the homies. He's going to try to be one of the homies. And if you ask me, I don't think Jackson Dart needs one of the homies. I don't think Cam Scatterboo needs one of the homies. I don't think Elite Neighbors needs one of the homies. Like, you guys got a young, very talented core in your offensive part. And to be honest, some of these young cats don't like it. But some of these young motherfuckers need some discipline. They need some structure. They need some accountability type of individuals around them to challenge them and say, hey, I know you're talented, but you can be so much more if you do this, if you do that, and you do less of this and less of that. And let me help you do more of this so I can get you to all pros, and I can get you to more commas, more zeros on your extensions. I can get you to whatever you desire out of this sport. But the way that you just trying to be one of the homies and you're not going to hold me accountable, I might learn something from you, but are you going to absolutely get the best out of me. And I don't think Nagy is that type of offensive coordinator that's going to pull the best out of a young, talented. Now, can he speed it up? Possibly, cool.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I guess my only counter would be, and like, granted, Nagy wasn't necessarily my first choice. Cliff Kingsbury was my first choice after seeing what he did with Jaden Daniels in that whole offense. And I mean, I'm sure people could do that same pointing of like, well, look how bad it was this year. It's like, well, Jaden Daniels was hurt and Terry McLaurin was in and out, right? So, and that basically is their offense, those two guys. So Cliff Kingsbury was my first choice. I would also choose Bieniemy over Nagy. But that being said, this is a very vibes-based team. That was like the narrative going into this year when it came to the Giants was Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, their bros, Brian Daboll, him and Jackson Dart are bros. Like, it's a very positive vibes. And we've seen stank vibes make a team worse. The Eagles are a perfect example of that. I don't necessarily know that it's inherently a bad thing if the OC and the players on the core get along in that kind of bro-like fashion. It depends, right? Like, it depends on how you execute it. But I think that maintaining that same good vibes locker room atmosphere and making Jackson Dart want to play well for Nagy, not having tension between the two of them, at least at first. When Dart messes up, he needs to be able to call him out on his shit. He needs to be able to do that with everybody. But if they like playing for him, just like they liked playing for Daboll, I think you can get something out of these specific guys.
I think it also, and here's the deal. Obviously, I think Nagy's gonna. I think it's fair to say that I think Nagy's gonna be calling offense. That's fair to say. I'm not sure who did you guys pick up as DC yet?
It was Willard. What was his name? Dennis. Giants DC. I honestly totally forgot his name, which I'm very surprised. Denard Wilson.
Okay.
From the former Titans DC. Which, looking at how the last Titans DC worked out, I was a bit skeptical on. But
Okay. So, obviously I'm not 100% sure how John Harbaugh has run Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, he started as a special teams coach, got hired as a special teams coach to become a head coach. So it's fair to say, and just and like again, I hate to assume, but I think Nagy's going to be calling offense pretty much laissez-faire. Just don't mess it up, and I'll stay out the way type of situation. And if that's the case, I think you might get a different, slightly better version of Matt Nagy because, in all fairness, he can only do so much here in Kansas City because this is Andy Reid shit, right? Mm-hmm. He runs the offense. He's going to call the plays. Yeah, you can input, you can give suggestions, but at the end of the day, Andy might let you run some, play routines in games every now and then, like first or second quarter. Won't you call plays, whatever, see what you can do, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in the end of the day, this is Andy Reid shit. And then whatever offense you're running, it's still his book. So this gives Matt Nagy a chance to actually draw from his book, see what he can do with, again, a young talented squad that you guys are starting to put together. Because, I mean, you got the young wide receiver, when healthy, stud, up and coming running back that could be something nice, young, was looking pretty good before the bad injury. Young quarterback that needs to figure out to stop putting his body in danger, but he can make some plays for sure, especially with his feet when the play breaks down. So, look, man, any guy that can get Mitchell Trubisky to the playoffs 2 2 times. I'm saying that has to give you a good amount of optimism. I'm just saying, as a football fan, that should give you some optimism.
Yeah.
Like, if he did that, he can do something with this.
Right. Plus, like, I do still ultimately at this point, unless he screws up tremendously, have trust that, and ironically, like, I have trust in John Harbaugh and I have trust in his decisions, although ironically getting behind the wrong OC is probably a significant part of why he's not in the Ravens anymore. So
Yeah.
I don't want to immediately draw that parallel.
No, and that should also give you some trepidation as well. But at the same time, still a lot that can go down between now and week 1 in September. Obviously, free agency hasn't even started yet, but the league year hasn't ended yet. So,
Right. And I mean, the coaching decisions, outside of this one have also been kind of questionable, like hiring Wilson, Denard, hiring him from a defense that was bad.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, us apparently not re-signing back Carmen Brasillo, who's the best offensive line coach we've had in quite some time, getting the most out of that O-line, not bringing him back, also questionable. I'm skeptically waiting to see the full vision. But I don't know. Maybe I'm too excited to be skeptical enough. The scar tissue is too deep, but we will see. I will judge things as they go.
But speaking of coaches, obviously all the is a like I said last week we were talking about Bill Belichick, Patriots, former Patriots head coach, 6 championships as a head coach there, 2 as an assistant defensive coordinator with the Giants. So 8 in total as a NFL coaching part of a team. And, we were talking about him being denied access to the Hall of Fame. Was not our first ballot Hall of Famer. To my surprise, I won't speak for Randy, but definitely to my surprise. But now the owner, who was his coach at still Patriots owner, Robert Kraft, he was up for Hall of Fame as well. He gets denied Hall of Fame on the first ballot. I think the voters are sending in a clear message. Randy, the voters sending a clear message.
So we talked about Belichick obviously last week because that was the particularly huge news. I mean, are considered by many to be the greatest coach ever. Even if you're just looking at the rings and the wins and the postseason wins, he's certainly the most accomplished. Robert Kraft is he's certainly one of, if not the most successful owners ever. Now, I don't know how the voters, when it comes to owners, because there aren't that many owners in the Hall of Fame, period. I don't know how much weight they give to owners in terms of the success of the teams they're on, as opposed to the players and the coaches. But if any owner, it's similar to Belichick, if any owner is going to be in, like Kraft does have to be. Now, Kraft may be being punished for things similar, if not the same, that Belichick was, because Deflategate happened on his watch. Spygate happened on his watch. The massage parlor thing. Not that that's the worst thing anybody in the Hall of Fame has done. Yeah, but I am surprised, but also I think it does make sense for the same reasons. Not that it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense, but the underlying reason is probably similar to the underlying reason behind Belichick. Possibly a mix of we're punishing you for the things you did wrong that brings shame to the game, and we expected you to be a lock, and so you weren't. But I voted for Roger Craig or whoever instead of you because they were likely to never get in because we didn't vote for them. We expected Kraft to get in, and he didn't. Probably a mix of those two reasons. Now, if it's punishment for the things that he was responsible for on the field, I think that is a legitimate reason to make them wait a year. I don't have a problem with that underlying logic. If it was, I'd rather have Roger Craig get in, and I know you'll eventually get in, so I'm not worried about it. That's not the way that the voters should be voting. Now, I've seen a lot of people also, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. I saw on ESPN they were fighting over whether they should force a revote. What do you think of that?
I forcing a revote. I'm not a fan of that because where do you start drawing the line of what's deemed revotable or not when it comes to this situation? Then you start. I think you open up Pandora's box, and then you just gotta, then at some point, you gotta draw a line. Then you just start making up all kind of reasons why you need to revote. So just let it be what it is for right now until you. I think the system is broken. Voting system is broken. That's what needs to get fixed.
I agree. That was actually basically my exact thought. Because if you start getting into that, one, you're essentially allowing either the league or the fans to be the voters, right? Like if the league can just step in whenever they decide that a vote was incorrect and make you vote for the person they want you to put in, then they can do that whenever. And then you get that same problem with the fans of like, okay, Belichick not getting in first ballot got a huge pushback. Drew Brees, if it had been him, probably would have also. Larry Fitzgerald, probably a pushback. I don't know if it would have been as big. And so, like, how much of a public backlash, how many people bitching and crying does it take to get the league to step in and force the voters to vote for the person they think they should have? So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's too much, but they do need to fix the voting system.
Yeah. Not only that, and it's so here's my thing. All right, so let's really look at this, and I kind of alluded to it last week, and obviously I am not absolving anything that the Patriots did, but I will say this, and this is my disclaimer. I think in some shape or form, all 32 teams, coaching staffs, all included, try to find edges that may color in the gray area to find advances to win a game. Because in this type of business, especially in, are y'all not seeing what's going on? We just had 10 vacancies this season. They are literally cutting, clipping cats after 1 year. Y'all don't believe me? Have we not seen coaches getting clipped, getting 1 year at a crack at an NFL head coaching job within the last 10 years? How many have we seen? They are literally saying, in this business, you must win. We just had a coach in Buffalo, had 9 straight playoff seasons, got canned.
Several AFC Championship game appearances.
Hello? We got a guy that was in Harbaugh got canned. He won a Super Bowl and said, we don't even care. You ain't winning enough for us lately, bro. You gotta go. This is a winning league, a result-oriented league, and they want it ASAP. The days of waiting 4 or 5 years for your coach to get your shit together don't exist in this NFL no more.
Coaches are sacrificial lambs.
And so, look, again, I'm not absolving what the Patriots did, But if we're putting it in the context, and I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it again this week, if you did not take the championships away, and whatever punishments you gave them and you deemed were necessary, then leave it at that. And I get what the message you're trying to send, but let's put it in the context what happened. All right. So for Spygate, they fined the Patriots. So Robert Kraft, they fined him $250,000. All right. They fined Bill Belichick $500,000. They took away a first-round pick. This is back in 2007. All right. Now, Deflategate. This is 2014, 2015. Now, this one results in a Super Bowl. Deflategate. They fined them $1 million. All right. They took away 2 first-round picks, and Tom Brady had to sit out 4 games the following season. All right. That was a punishment. So, again, there's no championships or any forfeiture of games of wins. No forfeitures or championships, especially after Deflategate. So if my thing is, if that's what your punishment, that's your punishment. All right. Now that these guys are in retirement stage and they've accomplished 6 Super Bowls as a winning head coach and 6 Super Bowls as a winning owner who put it all together, I get credit for all of it. I own it. So as sports fans, and I can speak for myself for sure, they're definitely first ballot. Because NFL did what they did for whatever Spygate, Deflategate. That's what you deem as the punishment. But at the end of the day, the results are the results.
And also, even if you were to, and I think they would have been entirely within their rights to subtract them 2 Super Bowls at that time. 4 Super Bowls and 2 as a defensive coordinator is still a Hall of Fame career. Even
still a Hall of Fame career.
So, like, is it necessarily the GOAT head coach? You're starting to compete with people, but like if you keep him intact, he's not competing with anybody.
And that's fine.
And I think there are also people who are arguing that maybe this is a tip towards Brady of we don't think that Belichick was really the reason for those rings. But like when you start getting into that kind of stuff, it's like, well, nobody's individually responsible for anything in football. So like when it's really more about impact than anything. And no head coaches had more impact than Bill Belichick.
Exactly, but not for what they did in New England. That was never a one-person job.
No, it was never top 7 to 8 defenses on average every single year. I mean, Tom Brady's not the one that caught the interception against the Seahawks. Tom Brady was not the one that was rushing Patrick Mahomes. Like
that was never.
Well, that wasn't with the Patriots, but you're getting what I'm saying. Like Tom.
No, obviously, yeah. But I think the bigger conversation about this situation is all right. So if they're doing this to Robert, you're doing this to Bill. There's a quarterback that's on that same team that was around that same situation that was in the trenches with all this whole situation going on. Randy, I'm not a fan of them leaving Belichick and Kraft off the first ballot. I understand why they're leaving Kraft and Belichick off the first ballot. But damn it, Randy, when it comes to Tom damn Brady's turn, damn it, we better have the same damn energy. We better have the same damn energy. We can't have the head coach, the owner, and then treat the quarterback different no matter how much you like him.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, if we're punishing Belichick for the gates, Deflategate was more Brady than it was Belichick.
We can't switch up.
So I'm happy with that. If you want to take all of them off the Hall of Fame, good. I hate all of them. I'd be thrilled. But honestly, this isn't even the most egregious version of this problem, because we've had the problems with the voters before. T.O. was another perfect example of it. And it wasn't even because of anything. No. At least if they're being punished for the gates, They're being punished for an on-field thing that deserves
I was getting punished.
Yeah.
Don't like him.
Yeah, exactly. He was literally just being punished for being rude to the media, and that's a problem with the fact that the media are the ones voting on this, and there aren't strict criteria that they have to abide by, so they can use their biases however they want. I mean, Jerry Jones using it was a different context, but Jerry Jones pushing someone he didn't like out of recognition that he deserved.
I'm just saying, man. This is some weird. Because I think Brady's been gone for what 2 years now. We got about 3 more years.
Yeah,
I'm going to remember this date. All right, February 3rd, 2026, and we're going to revisit this in 2029.
I'll be so happy if Tom Brady isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'll be wilding. I will be acting a fool.
Randy, you got to have to say you already set the precedent with Bill. Now you double down with Robert. You got to make it the same when it comes to Tom Brady. He's part of it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I hate to say it, any player that was on the Patriots team from 2001 to 2018 that considers themselves Hall of Fame worthy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put them on the same microscope. You got to have the same energy with Gronkowski. You got to have the same.
He might be able to get away with that one because he wasn't directly responsible for either Spygate or Deflategate. Like, he was just on the team.
He was just on the team. I hear you. Okay, that's fair. Okay, yeah. I might be reaching a little bit too far. Maybe I need to pump the brakes, and that's fair. I can admit when I'm fucking up. I need to reel it back in. Chill out, Mark. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, if they do it with Gronk, cool. I'm fine with that. But they might not draw the line there.
Exactly. Now, at some point, we do have to draw the line when it comes to, I guess, in some kind of Patriot stand somewhere when it comes to Hall of Fame. But the energy has to be the same for every last person. Wherever you're drawing the line at, voters, it needs to be the same for every last person on that side of the line, that you're treating that same way. If you're putting in the same boat with Belichick and Robert Kraft, we got to. I'm sorry.
Right.
We can't pick and choose. We can't. Oh, well, Tom Brady's such a media darling. He was always nice to me when I interviewed him, and he asks about my daughter, and I'm a Mr. fan too. Yeah. I ain't trying to hear none of that bullshit.
That's also an under talked about part of this. Belichick was an asshole, and that might be more the reason for them personally, just like with T.O.
So what does that say about Kraft then?
Like if they're punishing them for the gates, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. In fact, if anything, I would argue that might be warranted. If they're punishing them for being assholes, you can't do that. That cannot be the basis for this. Like, it has to be on the field only because
a lot
of murderers and rapists in the Hall of Fame. So on the field only has to be the standard.
See, and that's my thing. I don't think some of this, or if it was all just about football, then I have no issue with this. But I don't think none of this is all about football. This is some personal shit for sure.
Yeah.
Added into this, fuel to this fire. But it is what it is. I know we're talking football, and it's weird that we're switching it up this way. But obviously, with
gotta say somehow.
Yeah, but obviously with this Super Bowl coming up, obviously, I'm going to give our predictions last on that because we could talk about football all day. No, fuck. Let's get it out the way now because I know. Let's end with something else that we normally don't do. But let's go ahead. Let's keep it rolling in football. Obviously, enough to beat the dead horse on the Patriots having not getting their way and starting to face them get in trouble for all that Spygate shit.
Sure.
Super Bowl this Saturday. Let's just keep the football conversation going. Final thoughts and predictions, man. I was just on the show with the homie Chris Stahl, Area T podcast, and we were talking football. We had a great guest this time more. She came in and blazed it up. I'm just gonna be honest, man. My score 2017. I think it's gonna be a defensive matchup. We got the Patriots defense, who, in my opinion, are going to show up like they've been doing this whole playoffs because they saw what they're going up against on the other side defensively. Oh man, you're talking about the Chargers defense. Well, we're good too. They're talking about the Texans defense. They're definitely talking about the Texans defense. Oh, we're good too. They're talking about the Broncos defense. Oh, we're good too. Guess what they've been what they're going to talk about for the last 2 weeks leading up to Sunday. They're going to talk about that Seahawks because they're damn good too. And so I think the Patriots they're going to do their best to match blow for blow defensively. Offensively, for the Patriots, I don't think this bodes well for them because Drake May just hasn't been playing well. And I just mentioned the 3 defenses he's played leading up to this when he's damn near playing another elite defense this Sunday. And he hasn't played well. I will give him this benefit of the doubt. He's made a certain amount of plays throughout the whole playoffs, winning the most, because he literally has made the plays with his feet. And I'll give him that. He's been very more athletic with his feet than I thought ever before. And so if I'm the Seahawks, I would definitely keep an eye out on him escaping the pocket and getting those little scampers like he had. He had a 28-yarder the other day, last week, week and a half ago in the AFC Championship game. Defense. I think Sam Darnold makes less mistakes than Drake May. If we're just going by based off of what we've seen in the postseason, it's still going to be a tough sledding for him. But he has JSN. He has Kenneth Walker. And no disrespect to the Patriots offense and what they got. I think Stephon Diggs is a talented receiver. He's starting to hit that past his prime mark. And that ain't the case for JSN. He ain't even coming close to his prime, and he's damn near putting up monster numbers like he did this year. So I just think the more talented players. I will say this: Mike Vrabel might be a factor into this because dealing with a Super Bowl, he's been there, he's done that. He might get that slight edge. I think Sam Darnold, him being a backup in San Francisco a couple years back against Kansas City, saw a Super Bowl. So he might can draw from that on prepare for a Super Bowl. I mean, it's not the same. Vrabel, who's been more hands-on, preparing for a Super Bowl, playing in the Super Bowl, and hopefully he can drop some knowledge on to get his team prepared for a Super Bowl and what it takes. That might help him keep him in the game. But I just think, this is a 20-17 Seahawks Super Bowl victory in my book.
Okay. So I have spent a lot of time on this show talking about Drake Dilfer, Drake Flacco, Drake Foles.
Crazy, bro.
And how he has played like ass in these playoffs. I think that as far as the way the defense is played for the Patriots, I do also think that it's important to recognize who they were playing against. So the 3 offenses that they played against put up 3, 16, and 7 points respectively. And while the defense absolutely did their job,
Yeah.
I do think it's important to understand they did their job against a third string offensive line. CJ Stroud melting down behind the worst healthy offensive line,
That's
and
fair.
Jared Stidham. So while Drake Hostetler is going against yet another elite defense,
Hey, the backup names is getting crazy, bro.
he's going against another elite defense. I think he's going to have a terrible game again because we've looked at him have terrible games against all three of those other top defenses. I get that he won, and that's all people care about. But if you actually look at his individual performance, he was terrible against all three of those defenses. Yeah, he put up 3 touchdowns against the Texans. He also had 4 fumbles and an interception. He got bailed out of 2 of his fumbles. So bad games all around. Sub 60 completion percentages for all of them. This is not going to be any different. This is a loaded defense. The front is great. The back is great. They're going to give him trouble. The question is, I think more than anything, can the Patriots defense that preyed on the weak, issue-riddled offenses of the first 3 teams, can they make Sam Darnold revert to most of his career, Minnesota Vikings last 2 games, Sam Darnold? Can they make Sam Darnold see ghosts? Because if Sam Darnold starts getting pressured a lot and freezes and melts down the same way CJ Stroud did, that's the Patriots' way to winning a Super Bowl. If the Patriots win, it's going to be a very low-scoring game. But I'm not necessarily sure that Sam Darnold exists anymore, because this season he's had his meltdown games in the middle of the season. He had the one where he threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Had another one where he threw a bunch of interceptions. He's had those games. So far in the playoffs, he hasn't. And against the 49ers, they didn't really need him to do much. So that wasn't going to be the one that it was. They didn't have a good defense. Their defense was injured, all of that. Last game against the Rams, he was going up against a Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young front. And he looked great. He balled out against what is a very formidable front seven the one that made him fall apart last year. That same front. So he got past the demon from last year to get here. I don't know if that Sam Darnold exists anymore. I don't know if they can bring him back. I don't know if the past defenses that he's going against couldn't do it. I don't know if this is the one that's going to do it. The offensive line has had its issues. It's been much better than it's been the past years for the Seahawks, but it still has some issues. Maybe that's going to be the thing that causes it. Who knows? But I think that the Seahawks do win. I think that they win fairly handily. I think that it's going to be at least a 2-score difference in the game.
Wow. You're the second person I've heard that from today.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all know something that I don't know? Because y'all putting something on this damn slip to Vegas that I don't know about?
I just don't see it being that close. I don't think either side of the ball is for the Patriots is better than either side of the ball for the Seahawks. Especially when it comes in the playoffs, right? Like you could say regular season Drake May might be better than regular season Sam Darnold. That's honestly even debatable, but it's certainly not debatable in playoffs.
Back on that though, I wouldn't give too much pushback on that. I say that wouldn't be a hill I die on.
Right. As good as the Patriots defense has looked, just like the way the Patriots offense looked in the regular season, they looked that way because they had the easiest schedule of this century and then the 3 offenses that I talked about.
That's fair.
Will they look like that against this offense, this with Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker balling out, JSN? I don't know. Sam Darnold is another quarterback that has those pressure questions, so we'll see. But it's going to be by far the best offense they've faced in the playoffs, most likely. So that's if you're a Patriots fan, that's what you were hoping for Sam Darnold to see ghosts and the Patriots to squeak out a low-scoring game because Sam Darnold completely falls apart.
They better get to him. They better get to him.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I see the Seahawks slaying the beast of their past, killing the demon of just the ball,
Yeah,
and finally getting over that trauma. And I think the Seahawks win.
yeah. If there's one thing that Sam has answered to us is that if you give him time, he will carve you up. And I'm having a hard time. And now that I'm really thinking about it, now that if they don't get to him, that man might have a career day because he balled out against the Rams defense.
Yep.
And we know what they got on that front line.
Yep.
And no disrespect to the Patriots front four. You know, you got some nice little pieces on there, but I would be a little bit in favor of Rams up front four
For sure.
So yeah.
Outside of Milton Williams, it's not that much.
But that's what I'm saying. There's, I'm not gonna poo-poo the situation either. Outside Milton Williams, I'm not really too scared about anything. I think there's a lot of scheming up that's pretty damn good by Vrabel and the DC that he does get that defense rolling. That's tough, man. That's tough. I didn't even really think about that, but that's okay. Damn, that sounds like a hell of pressure on this Patriots defense to hold up a lot of weight.
Yeah, no, it's a shame that they have to do the carry job for Drake Wentz like this. Like it's just not fair for them. But they're gonna have to figure out how to do it.
I mean, they pretty much asked the defense, and they pretty much done it leading up to the situation. Is carry job. If we're calling a spade, I'm being honest. That Patriots defense has done a hell of a carry job.
Yeah, sure.
And to your credit, even looking at the situations of offensively what they had to face, that kind of helps.
Mm-hmm.
It helps. Damn. Sounds like the Super Bowl to the Chiefs in 35 with the Buccaneers. I've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this before. It ain't always what it cracked up what it should be when shit really go down. Oh, okay. He said, I feel confident it's a double digit. Oh, damn, Randy. And it's funny because my homie Chris did the same thing. He's like, he said like an 11-point victory or something. I was like, double digit? He's like, yeah. I think Seattle takes over in the second half.
Yeah, I think if I had to put a score on it, I'm gonna say 9 plus 17 to 31.
Yo, you not too far off from what he said. He said 30 to 20, 31-20.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I'm like, wow. Okay. Yeah, I might have to put a slip on down this month.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna end up doing the same.
No doubt. So here it is, folks. I'll get those Super Bowl predictions out. Again, I'm going 2017 Seahawks in there. If Randy was giving a score, you said 31
31-17.
31-17 Seahawks. Okay.
And plus a touchdown. 31-16, I'm gonna say.
Okay. 31-16 Seahawks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As is winding down, my football eyes and ears start getting towards and pointed the direction of other sports, and one of those sports would be NBA. Some big news went down today. Some trades have gone down, and before we do that, I just want to play this for you, big dog. All right. Because let's hear this. Because I normally don't agree with homeboy, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts, and we'll have the conversation.
I would not trade Darius Garland for James Harden under any circumstances. All this guy does is quit on teams and fold in the playoffs. For a decade, first did any TV together. When this show first started, 2017, 2018, I argued he's the best player ever without a ring. And his all NBAs, his MVP finishes, scoring title, assist title, 36 a game, 34 a game in the regular season, that put him next to Karl Malone or Elgin or any of those guys, and eventually he'll get there. And since I started making that argument, he's quit on 4 teams and folded in 6 playoff series. A quick reminder, folks. He went to Houston. He got Dwight Howard. Didn't quite work. Got Chris Paul. That could have worked. They got a little unlucky with Chris's hamstring. He then wanted Chris out. They mortgaged all the picks to bring in Russell Westbrook. That seems like it's working. Game 4 against the Lakers, 2 for 11. Season over, series over. And then James Harden's in a fat suit demanding a trade. Plays 2 games, quits on the court. They send him to Brooklyn. It's scary hours time. That team can win. Kyrie turns his ankle. He hurts his hamstring. Comes back for game 5, 1 for 10. Game 7 against Milwaukee, 5 for 17. Early next season, quits again. Daryl saves him. Brings him to Philly. That first playoff series, they have a game 6 at home. Goes 4 for 16, a 3 for 11 in game 7. And then he goes to China and is like to a bunch of kids on an Adidas tour. He's like, I want to make a statement. Daryl Morey's a liar and I'll never play for his team again. The Clippers trade for him. His first year with the Clippers in the playoffs. He goes 2 for 12 and then 5 for 16 in games 5 and 6. The Clippers swallow it. Then last year, in game 7, goes 2 for 8, and they give him an extension. And the team is finally winning this year, months after the extension. He doesn't show up for work in Phoenix, goes to an Arizona State basketball game 10 minutes from where his team is playing basketball. They call it personal reasons, and he demands a trade. You can't win with this guy. He's an all-time great player and an all-time great quitter and an all-time great choker. That is what his NBA legacy is.
Ooh. Like I said, I normally don't rock with Nick Wright, but what you think?
So I'm actually kind of surprised you don't rock with Nick Wright, fellow Chiefs fans, Chiefs defenders. Okay. I don't necessarily like every Giants defender either, but I mean those were basically almost my exact thoughts, plus more. So he is almost at the end of his career. I've talked a lot about in cases where teams are trading for an older player, how rarely I think that's a good idea. James Harden's not going to be there for very long. Now, I don't necessarily disagree inherently with the Cavaliers looking at their roster and being like, we can make a win now push. The problem is, first of all, I think Darius Garland is a good enough player that you could have won with him as your guard. I don't think, he has injury issues. I understand that. But I don't think you've put yourself in a better position by trading him. And a pick. They traded someone who's in his 20s for someone who's almost done with their career. And they shipped a pick along with the young guy, which is weird. So they bring in James Harden, and yeah, James Harden is a better player than Darius Garland. I don't necessarily discount that. But like Nick said, the entire reason for trading for an older player is if you think you can make a win now push, and then once you've gotten the banner in the building, then you worry about it later, then you start rebuilding, whatever. You're going on the decline.
Yeah.
You've chosen the worst older player to try to do that with because he's someone who has never been able to do that at any point in his career, including his younger prime. I don't need to go through the history. Nick laid it out, but even if you're relatively positive about it and looking at it and being like, well, look how great of a roster he gets to play with Spider, and he gets to play with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Like, like he has a great team around him. He's always had great teams around him.
Yeah.
That's not new. He's look at the names that he just mentioned. He has played with prime Russell Westbrook. He has played with prime Chris Paul. He's played with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He was with Joel Embiid during his MVP year.
Yep.
He has always been with other great talent, and he's not only never won anything or never come close to winning anything. He's more often than not the reason they didn't win. So you've taken a player who was one of your core guys, swapped him for a player about 10 years older than him, who is notorious for quitting on teams and leaving them in a worse situation than they were before he got there. And the only reason to do any of that is if you expect to win now with him. And you pick the guy who is known for, more than anything, not winning now or ever. So why you would do this is baffling to me. If you were looking to trade Garland, I can understand that, but there were much better trades on the table. Yeah. Triple J just got traded to the Jazz, and we'll talk about that too a little bit. But
yeah,
like, and I get it, they don't really have like a forward need, they don't have a defensive need. But can you imagine the legendary defense that they would have with Mobley, Jared Allen, and Triple J if either Mobley or Triple J played the three? Like, if you want to win now, move, and someone who's available, like that was right there. And there were a bunch of other trades you could make for someone younger, or if you're not getting the value for somebody younger than like an older player, like, like you could have made a big move for Giannis if you wanted. I don't know, like I don't know if they would have been willing to give the assets necessarily to get that done.
Yeah, and those are gonna be some lot of assets, I think so.
But considering that he's forcing himself off the team, maybe you could have gotten a good deal using that leverage. I don't know, but like this is about the worst move you could have made in this situation. I don't understand the logic behind it at all. Like you just watched him force himself off the team that he was on while they were winning. When Kawhi came back, they had turned the season around. They were finally looking good and winning, looking like they could make a serious playoff run. They looked like the team that I thought they were going to be in the preseason. And that's when Harden decides to quit on them. And you just saw him do that. And then you decide, I want that guy on my team. Insane.
I don't know how he still has value. I'm just being honest. I'm 100% amazed at how he still has value. And it's going to, I guess it's starting to show just how certain teams are they prefer to operate in the league. They want to put up the put up the show. I don't think this has. I hope for Cleveland's sake that they really don't think that this is going to be the thing that puts them over.
I mean, they wouldn't have done it if they didn't think that, right? Like, I can't think of another reason to do it.
And you're right, but I, as a basketball fan that I am, are trying to understand how did they come up with this conclusion. That's my point, because I think you're absolutely right. They like, we're going to make this move because we think it's going to put us over the hump. And I am trying to figure out how did they come up with that conclusion, with what evidence, with what data, what show, and what factor of any kind of a metric or whatever they want to use, analytic, whatever, that would show any kind of a module that can forecast a future or some shit that I don't know about that can predict the future down to a T. Give me something that absolutely told you as management in Cleveland that says, especially when, and if we're being honest, they're just being just a healthy team away from being in the finals last year. If we're being honest.
Yeah, no, exactly. They would have undoubtedly beaten the Pacers if they had been healthy that entire series. So, exactly. I don't get it. I don't get the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
And also, now you've taken on a larger contract in addition, which now limits your ability to make more moves. Very weird. Okay, let's see. Go for an all-scoring trade.
Give me that. No evidence. But maybe.
No, you just don't. With that much, we have. We know what Harden is.
We know what
Harden is for so. Like maybe, I'm of the belief generally that everybody is a choker until they aren't.
Until
Like,
you aren't. But
Yeah.
you shown.
Right, like you could, like Dirk Nowitzki was thought of as like a playoff, like this guy is never going to win anything, and then he won something, and now that legacy has changed, right? Like you can have that happen to you, but of all the people to make that gamble on, this is the absolute worst. If you were to think in your head, who's somebody who I don't expect to win a title before they retire,
It would be him.
would be the first person you think of because of everything that we've seen already. So very, very weird. I don't know. As far as the Clippers side of it, the Clippers, I think that it's cool that they have a younger good player since they have so many older ones. Like when those players start to go down, retire, decline, whatever, you at least have Garland as like a building piece. But the logic kind of works in the reverse for them. This is a team that's built to either win now or fall apart because all their players are old. So you've taken a player that was your best, or other than Kawhi, like maybe your second best player, you've replaced him with Garland, who's not as good. And the likelihood that you're going to push for a title now is probably decreased. I think that Garland has more value overall than Harden does, but not necessarily for your situation, because you need this team to win a title in the next like year or two, or you're blowing it up. So I don't know. I like it more from the Clippers side than from the Cavaliers side, but it is kind of strange on both ends.
If James can just facilitate to Spider and the rest of the guys and kind of pretty much stay out the way offensively, let them eat, and then every now and then pick his bones. I'm hoping that he, and this is a big hope, he brings something defensively. That's a huge hope.
Yeah. Now he decides at almost 40.
If he wants to win a championship at some point, and look, Cyrus, Kobe Bryant has said this. He said his style of basketball is not going to bring championship. It's going to fill seats. He wasn't lying. And to this day, he's been spot on about James Harden.
Yep.
And he's done nothing to change that outlook on it. And at this point, like you said, he's almost approaching 40. If this don't make you root for Russell Westbrook even more,
Mm-hmm.
because I want Brody to get a chip before he steps off. Because I changed my outlook on him a few years ago. Once he got onto my Lakers squad, I was like, oh, it makes total sense now.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
I get why you haven't before.
I get it. But no, you had mentioned the Jaren Jackson trade. What's your thoughts on that?
Just about to segue into that. Yeah. So the Grizzlies are definitely blowing it up. This is the sign that we're going to see a Ja trade soon, because they're giving up their two most valuable assets in terms of getting some young players and a bunch of picks. They got a bunch of first-round picks for Triple J. I think that makes sense. I think if you're in that position, you're losing Ja. Triple J himself is not single-handedly going to carry you to a title. So if you know that, you might as well just try to build for the future. So I don't hate it from the Grizzlies' perspective. I think it makes sense. From the Jazz's perspective, I don't really understand it because you need those first-round picks. You're a bad team. So trading Jaren Jackson Jr. is a great player. I think very highly of him. I think that he has value. But this is a weird situation to decide that they want to add a star defensive player. Other than Lauri Markkanen, you don't have much. This team isn't going to win anything anytime soon. Jaren Jackson's not going to change that. This might be the difference between you being a play-in team and not, but that's at best. I would not have given those first-round picks for Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that it was very important for you because you're gonna be picking high. They just picked high when they got Ace Bailey, so they're gonna be picking high again probably for the next couple of years before they start getting those guys and doing what the Spurs did and properly building over time. They're gonna need to do that, and this, I think, potentially set them back in terms of their ability to build a team around Jaren Jackson Jr. that's worth it. I don't know. What do you think of for both teams? What do you think of it?
I mean, Triple J to me is kind of weird. I've always seen potential, and then I've seen goofiness in the same body. Whereas I've seen him potentially could be talked about as probably one of the better big men in the NBA, and then I've seen him just kind of play his way into just being just another big guy that's just floating around. And I'm actually surprised that Memphis held on to him this long. I guess they were trying to see what they can do leading up. Because once they moved off to Desmond Bain, I was like, all right, well, that's kind of the first stone to see them trying to starting over and just resetting. And so I guess they just wanted to get a certain value for Triple J. Sure, I guess cool. Because I think
three first-round picks for the next 3 years. They're not going to have building pieces for him. That is just weird to me. Why? I would get it if it was a team that was contending. I don't get it for the Jazz. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with it.
I mean, are we not shocked that the Jazz management has done something goofy?
I mean, they drafted a player that actively told him he didn't want to play for that. So yeah, I don't trust their management. That was kind of wild to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure necessarily the Grizzlies management is great either, but this move makes more logical sense for the situation they're in. And we're going to see what happens with the Ja trade. We've talked about Ja. I've said before that he's another player with Harden that I don't really see what the value is other than selling tickets.
Ticket sales.
Yeah.
He's still the needle, which is why he's still the only reason why he's still on the Memphis roster right now. They're about to squeeze whatever they can out of him before they figure out whether they're going to pull the trigger or not.
Right. So we'll see what happens with Ja. I don't know which team is going to trade for him. I don't know how much they're going to end up getting for it, but if this could be a nice rebuild, depending on what they're able to get for Ja. This might end up working out in the long run. Maybe 10 years from now, the Grizzlies end up being a really good team, and that's if you're not the team that's consistently in the playoffs and contending, then that is what you should be doing. You don't want to be that middle ground team that's just kind of around the play-in spot forever. So either be contending or be rebuilding.
Oh well, I've already said that they should have already moved on for Ja, but I understand why they haven't, because it's Memphis, still a small market team.
Mm-hmm.
You get your ticket sales, get your money as you can, which is if he does make it past the trade deadline, I'll be surprised. But not as.
The only reason it would happen is if there wasn't a second hand on the phone saying, like, yes, we want that small guard that can't shoot, who keeps getting himself support through doing dumb stuff and is very expensive. If there's nobody who's taking that call, then that would be the reason why. I'm sure Memphis is calling everybody. I'm sure Memphis has everybody's number saved. It's like, look, give us whatever you got. I'll take a sandwich. Just give us something.
I think a sandwich is crazy, dog. Like, damn, bro.
It's not even like, just obviously a good player, right? It's just everything that comes with that. The skill set is a weird skill set, and then you're taking on everything with Ja, and I just don't know why a team would be willing to do that.
I hear you. I
Other than ticket sales, that's the reason to do it.
Oh, as of right now, that's the reason why you do it. Because I've been asking Ja forever, even coming out of the draft, like, bro, get you a jump shot, get you at least get you a midi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even have to be the best jump shooter, but as long as you get a mid range, I think you go there.
Right.
But because he needs to extend his career, he can't leap over everybody. Can't jump over everybody. He thinks he can jump and dunk over everybody. I'm like, that's not going to build your career. That's going to build you highlights. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do with a career full of highlights?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with a career? Hey, man, look at all the time I made on Sports Center Top 10. Motherfuckers going to be like, so? How many times did your ass miss the playoffs? How many did you come up short? Yeah, that's all. People's memories of them highlights gonna fade quick with them top 10. Am I lying now?
No.
I mean, you know, you said. I mean, the moments is cool and all. But the memories of people's sports fandom go to another level when you say that you did those highlights in a Super Bowl or NBA Finals or Stanley Cup or World Series moment that led to y'all hoisting the trophy, bro. That goes so much far and beyond. So just saying, you know, I mean. Hey, and you talk, Jazz. Come on, man. What are y'all really trying to do? Just be honest. What's your true direction? Because I've seen y'all become one of the franchises that has failed to either maintain or properly cultivate talent that I've had just in and out of your franchise over the last few years. I mean, Spider's like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. I mean, come on. I feel bad for Triple J. We'll see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Anything else popped into your mind before we get up out of here, man, that you want to discuss, man?
I think, I mean, we're just waiting for the Super Bowl now. We'll once it's done, we'll recap the Super Bowl, maybe the off-season free agency, the draft, whatever. We'll start talking about that. But I think we're good for this week's news.
Most definitely. Always a pleasure to chop it up. Like I said, my ears and eyes will start focusing a little bit towards the basketball scene. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of side eyeing a little basketball, but it's still a little bit hard for me to get fully invested.
Oh, I'm in that same boat. Like outside of like I'll watch Knicks games when I can, but like really outside of that, like the NFL playoffs is taking my attention. But once after the Super Bowl, I'll be locked into basketball much more.
Now, it's been harder for me this year than any other year before, because I'll be honest with you, Randy. I guess that for me, the decline in the product kind of over the last couple of years, it's kind of made it a little bit easy for me to go all the way full, a little bit past Super Bowl to be locked into football.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. We do have one more thing to talk about.
Oh, what's up?
Speaking of the NBA, the All-Stars. Have you been following the controversy of Kawhi not being selected for the All-Star and LeBron being selected? Because ironically, we just showed the Nick Wright clip. Nick Wright had a lot to say about that. I don't know if you've been following any of that.
No, I've been keeping an eye to that one. I know a lot of people are, but then again, we're talking about, I think, some voting that needs to get fixed, or voting ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything fan vote. I mean, like all the problems with the Pro Bowl are partly because it's fan voted. So I mean, you're getting that, but like, so just as like a point, because Nick Wright made this argument, and I think this is what the argument that a lot of people are making right now. Nick Wright unironically did argue that LeBron is essentially entitled.
I like, my fault, Randy. I actually Omar Vucevic going to Boston. I actually like that move.
Yeah, no, that is a good move. Yeah, I think he's actually made the argument that LeBron is just entitled to All-Stars until he retires because he's LeBron James. And I think that is the way that the league kind of views it now. Kawhi has had a phenomenal season and should have been one of the All-Stars. And it's not necessarily that LeBron was the one that should have been removed, because he is still playing very well. But the idea that he's just entitled because he's LeBron James, because of things he did in the 2000s and 2010s, he will be an All-Star forever. That spot can't go to whoever actually deserves it for that year because he's LeBron James. It's kind of insane to me.
It is, but at the same time, it isn't.
Should you get selections for a particular year because of things you did in past years? Because at a certain point, then like, what's the point of busting your ass that year?
I mean, look, if there's any league that has been more catered to making sure that they do things to throw the hook and line in there and to sentimental values, the NBA is probably one of the biggest sports besides them in the Major League Baseball that come to mind to me, of doing things to grab the sentimental value.
Sure, but like, is that a good thing? Should they be doing that? Is I guess my question. Do you think that that's how the All-Star game should work?
Oh no, absolutely not.
And granted, like I said, like LeBron James is still having a great career. Like LeBron's stats for this year are, he's still putting up 22 on 51% efficiency, 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, a little over a steal. He missed a lot of games, so did Kawhi. So I guess, I mean, you could also argue that, like, I don't know, Denny Avdija should have been the one that was out, right? Like, the Trailblazers are, where are they in the Western Conference? I believe they are not as high as they were at the beginning. Yeah, like they're the 10 seed right now. So like you could easily argue like maybe Avdija was the one that unfairly robbed Kawhi. I don't know, but even then, the basis has to be what you did that particular year. It can't be anything else.
And I agree with you, but we've also seen the time and time the NBA don't always go about it. We just have.
No, it's true for sure.
And not just them. Matter of fact, NFL had the Pro Bowl tonight. Like you mentioned earlier in the show, I didn't watch a piece of it, but no disrespect, love Shador. I didn't like the fact that they put him in the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Because I thought it was a slap to the face to what the actual meaning of what the Pro Bowl was supposed to always mean. And they've gotten so far away from that. They're going to the point where it's about needle moving. And say what you want about LeBron, he's still a needle mover. And
Right.
have him at the All-Star game is going to move needles no matter what. And if you're going to move the needle, be on the right side of that needle getting moved. Because you don't want to be to say, oh yeah, and what if this is LeBron's last year? Oh, he didn't make it to the damn All-Star game, and look at his numbers. He's still looking pretty good for a 41-year-old in the NBA playing at an elite level. He's not an All-Star. What? It's LeBron James. And so they'll catch backlash for not having him in. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
But like playing well when you're 40 isn't necessarily more All-Star worthy than playing better when you're a normal age to play better. Like I don't, but I don't know. Because these things also affect players' contracts. They affect resumes. They're going to look at your All-Stars when you're for Hall of Fame contention. So like these things do matter.
And
even if people have screwed up how they get handled.
But here's the thing with the culture that the NBA has said. When you're the star, you get star treatment. Bron gets star treatment. Kobe got star treatment. MJ got star treatment. Magic, Bird.
They did. And Nick also pointed out, Kareem and MJ both got all-star selections for years. They individually didn't deserve it.
They probably
but MJ got one, I think, with the Wizards. I think he got one. And to my case for that is, well, they shouldn't have either. It was bad when all of them did it. Because they took a spot from someone who deserved it more.
Oh no, and that's where I'm at. I'm with you. I'm keeping it consistent on whoever the name is across the board at any point in time. And this is the problem that we've seen with the NBA time and time again. And that's why I say they play to the sentimental value of their fans and to their product, which is fine. Because guess what? It's turned them into an international content. So I'm not mad at their strategy. I understand it, but I can't. I'm like you. I can't deny the fact that, hey, if we're supposed to put up a showcase of our best of the best for this particular season, then it needs to be about that. We can't have it be about the culmination of what your whole career is. And I get that, and I understand that.
Right.
But the thing is, if you want to have that culmination of somebody's whole career, then bring them their ass and have them as an honorary player on the East or West, and then put a little fucking video montage up. I don't give a damn.
Right. And plus, obviously because it's 50% fan voted, fans are going to vote for big names just like they do all the time.
Get rid of fan voting.
Yeah.
Fan voting.
They're bad at it. They need to get better at it. It's crazy.
No.
It's fun for I love the fan interactive element, but fans have shown they just can't be trusted.
I'm fine with that, and that's exactly that's the part that you just said right there that I have a problem with, is to think that every last one of us millions and probably billions of votes that they're going to get, that we're all going to be all voting in good conscience and faith of actually watching the content and seeing and we're casting those votes with all sincerity and honesty. Is asinine to think that this can ever happen. And
right. Or even for the average person to understand basketball enough.
Period.
To know the smaller names who are how much they're impacting their teams. They're not going out and looking at box plus minus and that kind of stuff. They don't know. They're probably voting for their favorite players or the players off their favorite teams. That's what most people do. Think about how many times I voted for Jalen Brunson. Like, I know that's what people do. I.O.W was robbed too. That was an under-discussed robbery in the media, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's hilarious.
I know what people do.
I know what they do. But nah, I get it, man. Nah, this was fun, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I always love Taco Tuesdays. Talking over with Randy Weber. And if you need audio needs, all right, until my man goes full-fledged with his legal career, he's still providing audio needs. So going over to Panther on Instagram and chop it up with Randy if you need those audio needs. Like I just mentioned right there, tap in with your man. And then, hey, y'all know where to find me on Twitter. I still call it Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you call it. Casey Wildcard over there. You can chop it with me personally and follow all the content that I got dropping. And then, most importantly, I.O.W Sports Network, baby. That's right, baby. That's where we here. Tap in with me and Randy. You know, hey, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, let you know every time we go live, drop some content. Until then, I am Wildcard Mar. That is the homie, Randy Weber. Another Taco Tuesday in the books. Y'all know what it is. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hey, we out. Holla at y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Silent Hill TD, yes, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card Mar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card Mar. We about to